Hi, I'm Dean Thomas.
And I'm Glenn Richards, and we ride superbikes.
And we've been lucky enough to be given these machines by Fast Bikes magazine to go and have a play on.
So we brought these two bikes down to JT's, and we're going to show you guys how to set a sports bike up.
Fast Bikes magazine's given me this bike to go and have a spin on, a bit of a play. First things first, we want to have a bit of a twiddle with it, get it all sorted. Where do we start?
Well, we might as well start with suspension, Dino, and just see where it's set at the moment and make sure it's somewhere in the ballpark for us. Okay, Dino, because we don't know where this thing's been set at by people in the past, we might as well set it back to factory settings to start with and go from there.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Generally, you will find all the standard factory settings in your owner's manual, so I mean that is the first place to look. If you can't find it there, then obviously you can check with the manufacturer or local dealer and see if they have the specs.
Now here we want to just take the weight off the fork so we can measure how long the forks are with no weight on them. So Dean's going to gently ease that back on the side stand. Obviously if you've got a front paddock stand that goes under the yokes to take the weight off the front wheel, that's another way you can measure it, but since I've got Dean I'll just use him.
Thanks.
Okay, I've got a measurement there now for how long the forks are extended. Now if you can put that down there, Dino. Okay Dino, if you can grab the bike now and hold it upright and just bounce up and down on the forks, just let the thing settle on its own weight. That's it, cheers mate. Okay, now you want to measure from the same points that you measured from before when the bike was in the air. And in this case we've got 35mm sag on this particular beast, which is a little bit much actually. You should be looking for a figure of somewhere from 25 to 30mm is a good place to have your road bike set.
That amount of sag and fork, we're going to have to put some preload on and fix it really, aren't we?
Yeah, that's the one, Dino.
Right.
Do you want to grab something to do that for me?
I'm going to be the tool monkey.
You are, mate.
Right.
Come on, that time you did something.
There we go.
Okay, cheers dude.
When it comes to sag on the bike, we have to compensate because this one's got 35mm of sag in the fork, so we're going to have to put some preload on. Now, the preload adjusters are obviously up the top of the fork here, and they do vary from bike to bike depending on the style of the fork. Some tend to poke out of the top and have locator rings around them so you can count the lines down. The others are obviously set like this, which is a bit more of an internal thing. So it means that you're going to have to basically wind the preload adjuster all the way out until it stops, and then count the amount of turns back in. The more you put in, the more preload on the spring, the less sag you'll have in the fork. So Bruce, give it a whirl.
Okay. So we'll wind the preload adjuster all the way out. Now in this case it's already out, so obviously that could be a clue why we've got so much sag. So if we put say 3 turns on this one, so count the turns. In this case that's 3 on there. You want the same on each side obviously. Okay, now hopefully that's got us a bit closer to the 30mm figure we're looking for. Okay Dino, if you just want to give that a bounce again, stand it up.
Alright.
And we'll just give her a quick measure up again. Okay, that's a bit more like it. That's the 30mm mark, which is what we've sort of been looking for.
So the other end of the scale obviously is the compression adjuster. Fill us in.
Yeah, that's the one. Again, we're going to put this back to factory. Now compression is normally on most forks down the bottom here. So we'll just see where this is at. Again, just wind it in gently, not using too much force until it just stops. And then we're going to bring it out the required amount. Okay, is that one done?
The same thing applies with the compression and rebound adjusters. The further in you screw them, the stiffer and slower the suspension will be. The further out you screw them, the looser and softer it will be as well.
Oi, what are you doing with me bike?
Usual, playing around, you know what it's like.
Get off back to your motor.
Right.
Let someone do some work for a change. What's that? Damn Australians.
Right, Brucey boy, we've done the front, take we move on to the rear now.
Yeah, I think we better Dino.
Right, very good. Where do we start? Which bit?
Okay, start the sag again.
Yeah.
How we did at the front.
Lift
so
it up.
Again, if you can be my little
Bloody
helper.
slave.
Yeah,
right, okay.
That's the one, mate.
Same again?
Yeah, top it out. Now, same thing again, you've got to get a point on the bike that you can go to twice, exactly the same. So I'm going to use this bolt here and just measure it to a fixed point on the swing arm. And remember your measurement, which I've got now, that's 475. Okay Dino, you just drop that down again. And
right.
again,
you want me on it, or are you going to do a freestanding?
No, we'll do a freestanding sag first. So if you just want to hold it up right there, I'll just give it a little bit of a bounce just to settle it. And again, using exactly the same points you used before. Just take your measurement and see what you come up with. So this here has got 10 mil of sag. That's looking pretty good actually.
Now how's that stand with the range?
What's that, sorry?
So 10 mil to 20 mil is, I take it, is your
10 to 20
average
mils.
for a road bike?
Yeah, that's somewhere where you want to be.
Yeah.
With the rear, obviously the rider can have a big influence on it when you're sitting on it. So we'll
You're trying to say I'm a bit of a fat bastard.
Well, yeah, not in so many words, but
right.
As you've never had a real job, you probably are carrying a bit of excess weight. So if you want to jump on it, Dino.
Right.
So, hang on, put your thing in. Okay, Dino. Yeah, it's got about 30 mil sag, so that's in the ballpark actually.
Obviously take a little bit off to give us a bit more sag.
Yeah, obviously if you're a hefty chap, we'd have to put a bit more preload on. But as you haven't been too lazy over winter, it looks like we're alright.
Right, no dramas. Right, lucky last, compression and rebound adjusters on the shock.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a look at those. Okay. On the top of your shock here is your compression adjusters. Now on this bike you've got two of them. The little screw in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's your low speed compression. That's the one that tends to have a fairly big effect on the way the bike feels on the road. So again, we'll put it back to the manufacturer's settings. So that means winding it in again, same as the forks basically, until it just stops. Again, don't use too much force. And we'll set that back to what they say tell us in the handbook. And the high speed adjuster in this case is a hexagon. You need a socket to move that. And again, normally wind them until they stop, and back them out and set them out.
And obviously if you're carrying a pillion, at some stage you get the bounce in the rear suspension, you can afford to just wind in your compression adjuster just a little bit, just to soak it up.
Yeah, that'll help a lot, especially if you're going to have some bumpy back lanes. Just slow the thing up a bit.
No problem.
And then on the bottom of the shock, we've got the rebound. Now that's hidden away down there. I mean, on some bikes they're really awkward to get to, but in this case not too bad. Same thing again, screwdriver. It's even written on the shock which way is hard and soft to help you out a bit. Basically wind it in. This one's actually got clicks on it, so you can count the clicks instead of just the turns. And again, all the way in. And then bring her out till she's the right amount from what the handbook says. And that's it.
Job's done. Alright mate, we've sorted all the suspension, it's all tweaked and tuned. We just want a basic check over now. Where do we start?
Yeah, okay, Dino. Yeah, tyre pressures, first place I'd start. Have a general look around the forks, make sure there's no oil leaking. Check all the fluid levels, like your engine oil, brake fluid. Just a quick look over, only takes a second. And then the chain, oil it, check the adjustment. Just a general look around really.
Right, let's get to it.
Sweet. When you're buying a tyre pressure gauge, if you can, buy the best one you can afford. A lot of the cheaper ones aren't really worth having because they're so far out. So if you can afford a good one, go for it. Okay, that's smack on what they recommend for the quack. So that's good. And also make sure you put the valve cap back on. It has been known for tyres at high speed to deflate if you haven't got a valve cap on. Okay, and onto the rear tyre, same again. Remember the valve cap. Front's normally a different pressure to the rear, so just like say, check what your book recommends. And that's smack on as well. Got a good one here. While you're around the front of the motorcycle, after you've checked your front tyre pressure, just have a quick look at your forks, make sure the seals aren't weeping down here. So obviously that could leak onto the brakes, which is not really what you're after. And just check your brake pads. Some bikes are quite easy to look at and see, but these are obviously in good nick, so easy enough to do while you're there. Okay Dino, about time you did something. I'll hold the bike up right, if you can check the oil.
That's me on my hands and knees.